this one.
Yeah.
Okay? The second equation, have we changed anything? No, so we're gonna write the second one down. My board is lagging, it's driving me nuts. Okay, and now if we look at these two equations, okay, notice how they both have a 16 and a 16, and one's a positive, one's a negative. Now it is just like the day before's, okay, and so we can add the two equations together in order to get stuff to cancel. Okay, and so what is 2 plus 7? 9. X, and then the 16 and 16 are gonna cancel. Negative 58 plus 13. Use your calculator. Negative 58 plus 13.
Negative 45.
Huh?
45, negative 45.
Negative 45. Okay, and then now if we look at this, what needs done? Divide by 9.
Negative 6.
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Okay, and so now we have solved for the x. Okay, now here's where, again, it changes a little bit. Okay, so the very first part changed because we need to multiply. Okay, the second part changes because when you go to plug that in, before I was like, oh, pick an equation, right, to plug in. You are still gonna pick an equation, but it has to be an original equation. So when we go back to plug it in, you can't use one of these. You can only use one of these, like without multiplying by 2 or anything, okay? Which one would you like to use, the x or the y, or Jesus? Equation 1 or equation 2? 1. Okay, so equation 1 says x plus 8y equals negative 29. Okay, and which letter have we already solved for?
X.
The x. So where the x is at, we can erase and put what instead?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Okay, and if you don't like to erase, you can write over it. Okay, and say negative 5. Okay, and if we're looking at this, what needs moved first?
The A.
Try again, the 5. Okay, so we're gonna add 5 to both sides. What is negative 29 plus 5?
Negative 24.
Negative 29 plus 5.
Negative 20.
Negative 24? You got 34?
Negative 24.
Negative 24. Okay, and then what needs done? Divide by 8.
How do we know when to subtract and add again?
Hold on. Okay, and so we're gonna say for our coordinate negative 5, negative 3. What do you mean? From the very, like, step 1-ish?
Yeah.
So, there is no, like, subtracting. They should all add to cancel out. If not, then you didn't multiply by the right thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I always add it for multiplication.
If you multiply correctly.
Yeah, which I did. Also, what was yesterday's assignment about?
I don't know.
I was here, I was just,
I know, but I'm not gonna do that right now.
sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, look at number 3. So I don't wanna say always add, because if you, you may have picked the right number, but as far as the signage goes, I don't know. Okay, look at number 3, okay? Our x's say 2 and 10, Okay, our y's say 7 and 5. Okay? What would you like to cancel, the x's or the y's?
Wise.
Okay, so if we're trying to cancel the y's, 5, because, so which is smaller, 5 or 7?
5.
5. 5 times what gives me 7?
It'd be decimal.
So then that's not what we want to pick. Okay, so if we look at the x's, which one is smaller, 2 or 10?
2.
2. 2 times what gives me 10?
5.
The 5. Okay, now, it is not negative 5. Okay, so we're going to say times 5. And here's where people get tripped up, is because whether to put the negative or not. We want our signs to be opposites. So notice how this guy, he already has a minus, and he's already positive, and that's what you want. You want one positive, one negative. Okay, if they're both the same, if they both said negative, negative, then you gotta throw a negative on the outside. Okay, so we're gonna multiply our entire first equation by 5. Okay, so 5 times 2 is gonna be 10x. 5 times 7 is gonna be 35y. 21 times 5 is something I don't know. 105?
105.
Okay, equation 2, did we change anything?
No.
No, so you're gonna write that down. Negative 10x plus 5y equals 15. Okay, now, do we have letters that have the exact same number in front of them? Yeah, what letter?
X.
X's. Okay, and again, notice how 1 is a positive 10 and 1 is a negative 10. That means you can add the two equations together.
So you'll subtract the negative.
We don't want them to both be negative. That's what I'm telling you. Like, you can't. That means you multiplied by the wrong number. You might have multiplied by the right number, but not the right signage.
That doesn't make sense because a negative times a positive would always be a negative. So that means it would always be a negative if you have a negative number of 5.
You're thinking, so you're gonna pick the number
Oh, wait.
and then look at the signage.
Wait, I think I know what you mean.
Okay, so negative 10 plus, or 10 plus negative 10 is gonna be 0. Those guys are gonna cancel. Okay, 35 plus 5
40.
is 40. Y. Negative 105 plus 15.
112. No.
I know what you meant. Okay, and then what needs done? Divide by 40. Okay, and so we're gonna get y equals something. 3? Okay, we need to take that and plug it into the original equation, so one of the ones that like is printed on the paper. Not anything you did with it, the one that is printed. Which one would you like to use, equation 1 or equation 2?
1.
1, so equation 1 says 2x plus 7y equals 21. Okay, and which one do we know already? Which one is solved, the x or the y? The y. Okay, so where the y is at, we can put a 3. Okay, so I can put a 3 here instead of the y. Okay, and so 7 times 3 is going to give me 21. So I'm going to get 2x plus 21 equals 21. Okay, and then what needs done? Who's the third wheel? We got-
Wouldn't X be one?
X is not one. Where are you looking?
Well, I mean, the answer.
Oh, I don't know. You're way far ahead of me then. Subtract 21. So I got 2x equals 0. Then what needs done? Divide by 2. How do we write this as a coordinate? 0, 3. Okay, the other two on the front, listen to the instructions carefully, you guys are gonna do all the way, okay? On the back, we're just gonna do the first like 2 steps, the multiplication step, okay? Because that's what's the hardest part. The other part, you should be able to do all this today, but, okay? So, look at number 5. My x's say 7 and 3. Which one is smaller, 7 or 3? 3. 3 times what gives me 7?
Decimal.
Yeah, nothing like that we know right off the top of our head, so we're not canceling the x's. Okay, look at the y's. I got a 1 and a 4. Which one is smaller, 1 or 4? 1. 1 times what gives me 4? 4. So then that means that this is the one that I want to multiply by 4. Okay, and then we look at our signage. Okay, this one is a positive, yes? In front of this 4? Okay, what's this one? Positive. Okay, because we have the same sign, okay, this has to be negative. Okay. Equation 1, are we changing anything to that one? No, so we're gonna write that one down. We're gonna say 7x plus 4y equals 18. Equation 2 is gonna be negative 4 times 3. It's gonna be negative 12x. Negative 4 times 1. It's gonna be negative 4y. Negative 4 times 12. Negative 48. Okay, look at them. What's going to cancel? What are the same now? The y's are going to cancel. Okay, and again, notice how one is a positive, one's a negative. That's the only way it can cancel. And that's where people mess up. Most of you guys will probably get the number right. The signage is wrong. Okay? In order for them to cancel, you have to have one a positive, one a negative. Okay, so on the back page, this is all I want you to do. Okay, on the front 2, you're going to do the full one. On the back page, we're just doing that first 2 steps, if you want to call it. Okay, look at 7. Which x is smaller, 7 or 5? 5. 5 times what gives me 7? A decimal. Okay, that one's not going to work. Okay, and then for the y's, I got a 10 and a 5. Which one's smaller, 10 or 5? 5. 5 times what gives me 10?
Negative
2. Okay. So 2. Okay, now, here's where we look. Okay, what sign does he have?
Positive.
Positive. What sign does he have?
Negative.
A negative. So they're opposite. So it's not going to be a negative 2. Okay? So that's where you're getting jacked up. So if you have like this, what you're going to, if you would put a negative 2 here, when we multiply, negative 2 times negative 5 is what?
Negative 2 times negative 5 would be a positive 10, wouldn't it?
Positive 10. So then when we go to add these 2 equations together, what is 10 plus 10?
Oh,
It doesn't cancel.
0.
So you need the signs opposite. So like on this one, see how they both said plus plus?
Yeah,
Then you throw a negative out here. If they would both say minus minus, then you throw a negative out here. So if they're the same, you have to have a negative on the outside. If they're different, then it's gonna be a positive on the outside.
okay.
Okay, equation 1, are we changing anything? Is that the one we multiplied by or no? No, so we're gonna copy that one down. Negative 7x plus 10y equals negative 14.
Did you board this glitch?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with it, it's making me mad. That's why it's dragging, okay, the 2 goes where you guys put it, but I'm gonna try to restart it here. Okay, the second one, we're multiplying, okay, so 2 times 5, see what I'm saying? 2 times 5 is gonna be 10x. It's probably gonna be the last one, because I can't. 2 times negative 5 is gonna be a negative 10x, or 10y, sorry. And then 2 times 10 is gonna be a 20. Okay, number 9 and 10, you guys can cross out. Okay, so 6 and 8, if I can even get there, 6 and 8, you're just gonna do this first multiplication step. Okay, the front 2, I want you to like try to go through and do them all. So I would probably practice on the back 2 first, and then go back and do the front 2, because they're harder. Okay,